Wake up, Hugh, it's time to go. Grab the leash, we're hitting the road. Got my paws ready to roam. This world ain't gonna explore alone. I sniff the air, I chase the breeze. Every trail's a mystery. Cooper's adventures follow me. Caves and woods and history. Ghost towns, whispers, secrets low. Together we're the stars of the show. Abandoned barns with creaky doors, haunted halls and mossy floors, fishing poles and a camping fire, a life for freedom I inspire. I wag my tail, I lead the way, every step a brand new day. Cooper's adventures follow me, caves and woods and history, ghost towns, whispers, secrets low. Together we're the stars of the show.
Perched high above Lake Winnebago, High Cliff State Park is a place where natural beauty and history collide. Long before it became a state park, these cliffs were sacred ground to Native American people who built effigy mounds along the Niagara escarpment. Later, limestone kilns and massive limestone quarry were in operation here from 1856 to 1956, supplying building materials across the Midwest. Today, the ruins, cliffs, and ancient mounds stand as a reminder of the people who shaped this remarkable landscape. Okay, so the first step is, I guess we got to park in this parking lot area here and meet up with a hiking trailhead to hike over to where the lime kilns are. Compared to Idaho, this is a straight up rainforest. Beautiful though. Okay, here we go. We are on the trail. I don't know how far in these kilns are. Oh, not very far because I already see one. Originally, these lime kilns would have been wood powered. Basically, burning wood to heat the lime up over 2200 degrees so they can make the quick lime. But then later on, when they depleted the wood supply for the area, they converted it over and began using coal. I will insert some photos of these kilns and the factory and complex back when it was in operation. But the most notable owners from the research that I've done is Northern Lime Company that operated this before they shut down in 1956. And of course, because it is a state park, we do have to have it fenced off so people can't go in and vandalize it and graffiti it and ruin it for everybody else. Now this here is just a small section of the vast lime company complex that used to stand here. The railroad itself also used to come right up here to these kilns so they could pack up the quicklime to transport out to the rest of the Midwest. Or Midwest. And I would assume that this trail that we're on here probably would have been the railroad tracks where the rail cars would have come in and loaded. If we look down here, we got a bunch of the lime still. Showing and present. Lake Winnebago. Now somewhere in this jungle behind the kilns, there's still a mountain of refused lime that they did not actually kiln off. Not bad for a factory that was open for 100 years and been shut down for well over 60 years, huh? You can actually kind of still see the layout of the buildings. Looks like we do have some remnants here still of some kind of building in front of the kilns. Let's take a hike down some of this line and see if there's anything down here of interest. Someone set up a campsite down there. I don't know if all of this is waste lime that they never used, or if this is part of the limestone that they were using. A steel panel from something on one of the buildings, I would assume, at least. And again, this place looks and feels super familiar, but yet very, very, very different from what I remember. Okay, so here we are up at the top of High Cliff now. The lime kilns are down near the bottom of the hill. We're going to hike over to where the actual lime quarry is, where they were actually quarrying. Now up here on the top somewhere, there's supposed to be 5 remaining ancient Native American effigy mounds. Most famous being a 285-foot panther. Unfortunately, I do not believe with all this vegetation that we're going to find it, or any of them. Even back when I was growing up here, I don't ever remember seeing any of them. But then again, that's one of those where you'd almost have to be airborne to see them. And with this kind of foliage, I don't even think you'd see it on aerials. It would be nice if someone at some point did a LiDAR scan of the top here. That way they could remove the trees and actually see the effigy mounds. Now, as I stated in the intro, High Cliff is part of the Niagara escarpment. Now, what that is it's a set of cliffs, or lack of a better term, hills, that separates two even pieces of land. This particular one is the exact same one that the water flows over for Niagara Falls. This escarpment crosses 3 different states. Now, there were 30 different effigy mounds up here that the Native Americans did make, but when the lime company moved in and started mining, well, not mining, started quarrying for the lime, they really didn't care, or maybe didn't even know they were here, and just started cutting and quarrying and blasting limestone. So supposedly out of the 30 that were here, only 5 of them remain. Looks like we're almost to the quarry site. So I'm going to let you go until we actually get there, okay? We actually got here a little bit sooner than I was thinking we would. This all here is the limestone that the lime kilns were quarrying, taking down, and heating up into quicklime. I'm actually even walking across some of it right now. Big old plateau of it. We'll walk over here to the edge of this cliff, take a look, and we'll try and figure out a way to get down into this massive part of the quarry, so we can have a look around at where and what they were actually quarrying up here to actually feed those kilns down at the bottom. And as we can see, we're down at the bottom area now, but as we can see, this whole area was being quarried to feed those kilns. And right here is all the limestone. You can even see some of the blasting marks on what we're walking on here, where they were blasting it apart to haul it down the hill. little cesspool over here. Let's take a look, see if we got any wildlife in here. We do, there's little tadpoles. But really, that's just about it for the lime kilns and the lime quarry. I'm going to go ahead and try and see if I can make it up the observation tower that's up here at the top. Give you guys a good bird's eye view of Lake Winnebago and the surrounding area. And here we are at the top. As promised, the observation tower. We are going to climb that. But back in the day, when I used to come here, growing up, this here used to be the hill that you would have to drive up to get up here to the top. That is now blocked off and you can't go up. Okay, here we are, folks, as promised. Top of the lookout tower. Beautiful, beautiful view of Lake Winnebago. You can't really see too much of the surrounding area, just because of all the vegetation up here. But as you can see, we are a long ways up. But there you have it. High Cliff State Park, complete with the history on it. So I guess we're going to let you go, and we'll see you guys on our next adventure. Okay guys, so I lied. We found the Indian Mounds Trail. So we're going to take a little bit of a hike. Supposedly this 285-foot Panther Mound is at the head of this trail somewhere. So let's have a look-see. I don't know. Looks like we're coming up to some kind of a structure over here. Very primitive structures, but a structure nonetheless. Oh. They're little bushcraft teepee hut style things. That the Native Americans probably would have sheltered down in when they were up here. Let's get back out on the trail, see what we can see for mounds. if anything. Okay, so here is one of the effigy mounds. I'm not entirely sure which one it is, because again, you almost need a, here's another one, LiDAR scan to find out which ones they are. But there's a little mound bump outs in the ground. But we did find them. I'll have to look on line and see which one this one is. There's a few more back in there. So we'll continue this little mound loop and see what else we come across. Looks like we have another one right here, basking in the sun. Yeah, it'd be real nice to actually see which ones and what they are. A few more over here. I fully understand these mounds don't look very impressive, especially on camera. But if you stop and think about it, the Native Americans that were here did all of these mounds between 12 and 1400 years ago. So yeah, that's honestly pretty darn impressive. Especially without having any real equipment other than what's out here surrounding us. Good thing that